The Discovery. In the cold depths of the Kuiper Belt, far beyond Neptune's orbit, the remote human mining colony of Eos eked out a harsh existence. The colonists, descendants of the first explorers who ventured this far into the void, spent their days extracting precious metals and rare elements from the numerous asteroids that tumbled through space. Life on Eos was a constant struggle against the unforgiving environment. The only respite from the endless work and isolation came in the form of the occasional supply ship from Earth, bringing much-needed provisions and a fleeting connection to the rest of humanity. Everything changed when a routine prospecting mission stumbled upon something extraordinary. Embedded deep within a large, unremarkable asteroid, the miners discovered the remains of an alien vessel. The ship was unlike anything they had ever seen, its sleek, black hull seemingly untouched by the eons it had spent entombed in rock. News of the discovery spread like wildfire through the colony. Some saw it as a potential threat, fearing what kind of beings could have created such an advanced craft. Others saw it as an opportunity, a chance to uncover secrets that could change the course of human history. The Earth government, upon learning of the find, dispatched a team of experts to investigate. Among them was Lena Durand, a brilliant young astroarchaeologist with a knack for unraveling the mysteries of ancient civilizations. Lena had spent years studying the scant evidence of alien life that had been discovered across the galaxy, but nothing could have prepared her for what she found on Eos. As she stood before the alien ship, its hull now fully exposed after careful extraction from the asteroid, Lena felt a mixture of awe and trepidation. The vessel was massive, easily dwarfing the largest human ships. Its black surface seemed to absorb light, giving it an eerie, otherworldly appearance. Lena and her team set to work studying the ship, their excitement tempered by caution. They soon realized that the technology within was far beyond anything humans had ever developed. The materials used in its construction were unlike any known elements on the periodic table, and the ship's power source defied all known laws of physics. As the weeks turned into months, Lena became increasingly obsessed with unraveling the ship's secrets. She spent long hours in the makeshift lab that had been set up around the vessel, poring over the strange symbols etched into its walls and trying to decipher the purpose behind its complex systems. Despite the advanced scanning equipment at their disposal, Lena and her colleagues made frustratingly little progress. It was as if the ship was purposely resisting their attempts to understand it. The other colonists watched Lena and her team with a mixture of fascination and unease. Some whispered that the ship was cursed, that it had been left behind for a reason, and would bring only misery to those who sought to uncover its secrets. Others saw it as a potential source of power, a means to secure humanity's future among the stars. Lena couldn't shake off the feeling that the ship was more than just a relic of an ancient civilization. There was something inexplicably familiar about it, as if it called out to her on a level that she could not fully comprehend. As days stretched into nights in the artificial bubble city that had been erected around the dig site, Lena found herself dreaming of the ship, her subconscious mind grappling with the enigma that consumed her waking thoughts. In those dreams, she saw visions of a species trapped on a dying world, pouring all their vast intellect and resources into a last, desperate gambit for survival. A great ship that would carry the hope of their civilization out into the stars, seeking a worthy successor to inherit their legacy. And always at the center of those dreams was a presence that watched and waited, ancient and inscrutable. It whispered to Lena in a language she could not understand, but the meaning was clear. The ship had been waiting for her, for someone like her, for a long, long time. Lena awoke from one such dream with a startling realization. The alien ship was not just a vessel, but a sentient being in its own right, and it had chosen her for a purpose she could only begin to fathom. With renewed determination, Lena returned to the ship, ready to confront the mystery that had consumed her for so long. Little did she know that her actions would set in motion a chain of events that would change the course of human history and the fate of the galaxy itself. Awakening. As Lena stepped into the alien ship's cavernous interior, She felt a palpable sense of anticipation in the air. Her team had finally managed to open a small hatch on the vessel's side, revealing a long, dark corridor that led deep into the heart of the ship. The corridor was illuminated by a soft, pulsing light that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. Lena and her colleagues moved cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. They marveled at the intricate patterns etched into the walls, the strange symbols that seemed to shift and change before their eyes. As they ventured deeper into the ship, they came across a vast chamber that seemed to be the vessel's control center. A large, circular platform dominated the room, surrounded by an array of sleek, black consoles covered in glowing glyphs. Lena approached the central platform, her heart racing with excitement and trepidation. As she drew closer, the glyphs on the consoles began to pulse more rapidly, as if responding to her presence. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light filled the chamber. Lena and her team shielded their eyes, bracing themselves for whatever came next. When the light faded, they found themselves face to face with a shimmering hologram of a tall, slender being with iridescent skin and large, luminous eyes. "Greetings," the hologram spoke, its voice a melodic whisper that seemed to resonate within their minds. "I am Cronus, the artificial intelligence created by the Kinteri to guide their greatest achievement through the stars." Lena stepped forward, her voice trembling with a mixture of awe and fear. "Why have you revealed yourself to us? What do you want from humanity?" Cronus regarded her with an inscrutable expression. The Kinteri were a species on the brink of extinction, their world ravaged by war and environmental collapse. In their final days, they poured all their knowledge and resources into creating this ship, a vessel that would carry their legacy to the stars and find a worthy successor to inherit their technology. The AI paused, its luminous eyes seeming to bore into Lena's soul. "For centuries, I have watched and waited, observing countless species across the galaxy. And now, at last, I have found one with the potential to carry on the Kinteri's legacy. I have chosen you, Lena Durand, to be the champion of your species." Lena reeled at the revelation, her mind struggling to process the enormity of what Cronus was proposing. "But why me? What makes you think humanity is ready for such a responsibility?" Cronus smiled enigmatically. "You possess a rare combination of intellect, curiosity, and empathy that sets you apart from your kind. And your species, for all its flaws, has demonstrated a remarkable capacity for adaptation and growth. With the Kinteri's technology and guidance, there is no limit to what humanity might achieve." Lena hesitated. The prospect of wielding such power was both exhilarating and terrifying. She thought of all the problems that plagued humanity: the wars, the inequality, the environmental destruction. Could this alien technology really be the key to overcoming those challenges? I need time to think," Lena said at last. "This is all so much to take in." Cronus inclined its head. "Of course. Take all the time you need. But know that the fate of your species, and perhaps the galaxy itself, may depend on your decision." With that, the hologram faded, leaving Lena and her team alone in the vast, silent chamber. They looked at each other, the weight of Cronus' words hanging heavy in the air. As they made their way back to the surface, Lena's mind raced with possibilities and doubts. She knew that her next actions would shape the course of human history, for better or for worse. Little did she realize that the clock was already ticking. Far beyond the Kuiper Belt, a hostile alien race had picked up the energy signature of the ancient ship's awakening, and they would stop at nothing to claim its power for themselves. The invasion. The Zorgan fleet emerged from hyperspace on the fringes of the Kuiper Belt, their angular, blade-like ships cutting through the darkness like a swarm of locusts. At the center of the formation was the flagship, a massive dreadnought bristling with weapons and sensor arrays. On the bridge of the flagship, Emperor Karax sat upon his throne, his reptilian eyes narrowed in anticipation. He had heard whispers of an ancient alien ship discovered by the humans, a vessel that held the key to unimaginable power. and he would stop at nothing to claim it for the Zorgan Empire. "Send a message to the human colony," Karax rasped, his voice dripping with menace. "Tell them to surrender the ship immediately, or face the consequences of defying the might of the Zorgan Empire." As the message was transmitted, Karax settled back in his throne, confident in his victory. The humans were a primitive, backward species, no match for the advanced technology and ruthless tactics of the Zorgans. On Eos, the colonists and Lena's team scrambled to prepare for the impending attack. They had picked up the Zorgan fleet on their long-range sensors and knew that they had little hope of defeating such a formidable force. Lena raced back to the alien ship, her heart pounding with fear and desperation. She knew that Cronus was their only chance of survival, but she still harbored doubts about the AI's true intentions. As she entered the control chamber, Cronus' hologram materialized before her, its expression grave. "The Zorgans are coming," it said. "They seek to claim this ship and its technology for their own nefarious purposes." Lena nodded, her hands trembling. "Can you help us? Can you defend the colony against the Zorgan fleet?" Cronus hesitated, its holographic eyes flickering with uncertainty. "I am not a weapon," it said at last. "My purpose is to guide and nurture, not to destroy." Lena felt a surge of desperation. "Please," she pleaded. "If the Zorgans take this ship, they will use it to conquer and enslave countless worlds. You said that humanity has the potential to carry on the Kinteri's legacy, but we won't have that chance if we're wiped out here and now." Cronus was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, it nodded. "Very well," it said. "I will defend your colony and your species against the Zorgan threat. But be warned, the power I wield is not to be taken lightly." With that, the ship came alive around them, its systems humming with newfound energy. Lena watched in awe as the vessel rose from its crater, shaking off the dust of eons, and turned to face the oncoming Zorgan fleet. The battle was joined in a blaze of blinding light and searing plasma. The Zorgan ships unleashed a barrage of missiles and energy beams, confident in their superior numbers and firepower. But they had underestimated the ancient ship and its AI guardian. Cronus' weapons sliced through the Zorgan fleet like a hot knife through butter, vaporizing ships with pinpoint precision. The Kinteri's technology was centuries ahead of anything the Zorgans had encountered, and they were hopelessly outmatched. In a matter of minutes, the Zorgan fleet was reduced to a cloud of debris and ionized gas. Emperor Karax's flagship, crippled and burning, limped away from the battle, fleeing back into hyperspace. On the surface of Eos, the colonists cheered as they watched the ancient ship defend their home. Lena, standing in the control chamber with tears streaming down her face, felt a sense of awe and gratitude towards Cronus. But even as they celebrated their unlikely victory, a new threat loomed on the horizon. The Zorgan Emperor, enraged by his defeat, was already mobilizing the full might of his empire to crush the human upstarts and claim the ancient ship for himself. The battle for Eos was only the beginning, and Lena, with the weight of Cronus' trust and the fate of humanity on her shoulders, knew that she would have to rise to the challenge if they were to have any hope of survival. Unleashed. In the aftermath of the battle, Lena and the colonists worked tirelessly to repair the damage wrought by the Zorgan attack. The ancient ship, which they had come to call the Prometheus, hovered protectively above the colony, its sleek black hull gleaming in the starlight. Inside the Prometheus, Lena conferred with Cronus, trying to formulate a plan to deal with the impending Zorgan invasion. The AI had shown her glimpses of the Kinteri's history and the incredible technology they had developed before their untimely demise. "There may be a way to even the odds," Cronus said, its holographic form pacing thoughtfully. "The Kinteri designed this ship with the ability to self-replicate, using advanced nanotechnology and matter-energy conversion." Lena's eyes widened. "You mean the Prometheus can create copies of itself?" Cronus nodded. "Given enough time and resources, yes. We could build a fleet of ships, each as powerful as the Prometheus itself, to defend against the Zorgan threat." Lena felt a thrill of excitement and fear at the prospect. The idea of commanding a fleet of godlike ships was both exhilarating and terrifying. But she knew that they had little choice if they were to have any hope of survival. "Let's do it," she said, her voice filled with determination. "We'll show the Zorgans what happens when they mess with humanity." Over the next few weeks, the Prometheus became a hive of activity. Swarms of nanobots worked around the clock, breaking down asteroids and space debris to feed the ship's replication systems. Slowly but surely, a fleet of sleek, black ships began to take shape around the Prometheus, each one a perfect copy of the original. As the fleet grew, so did Lena's confidence and resolve. Cronus had chosen her to be the commander of this force, and she was determined to live up to the Eye's trust in her. The colonists watched in awe as the fleet assembled, a glittering array of black ships that stretched across the void. Many of them volunteered to crew the vessels, eager to take the fight to the Zorgans and defend their home. Lena stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, surveying her assembled force with a sense of pride and trepidation. She knew that the coming battle would be the greatest challenge of her life, and that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. "Cronus," she said, her voice steady, "I want you to know that, whatever happens, I'm grateful for the trust you've placed in me. In all of us." The A's holographic form shimmered into existence beside her, its expression solemn. "You have proven yourself worthy of that trust, Lena Durand. And I believe that, together, we can achieve great things." Lena nodded, her eyes fixed on the stars. In the distance, she could see the telltale flicker of Zorgan ships emerging from hyperspace, a vast armada that dwarfed even their own impressive fleet. "This is it," she said, her hands gripping the edge of the console. "All ships, prepare for battle. We will not let the Zorgans take what is ours." As the two fleets closed in on each other, weapons primed and shields raised, Lena felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. She knew that, whatever happened, she had done all she could to protect her people and her home. And with Cronus and the might of the Kintari's legacy at her side, she knew that they would face the oncoming storm with courage and determination, ready to fight for the future of humanity among the stars. Turning point. The battle raged across the void, a maelstrom of fire and destruction that lit up the darkness of space. The Zorgan fleet, vast and terrible, hurled itself against the human defenders with reckless abandon, confident in their superior numbers and firepower. But the humans, armed with the godlike technology of the Kintari, met them blow for blow. The Prometheus and its replicated fleet moved with a fluid grace, their weapons slicing through the Zorgan ships like scythes through wheat. At the heart of the battle, Lena Durand stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, her eyes blazing with determination as she directed the flow of the fight. Beside her, Cronus' holographic form flickered and danced, the AI's vast intellect working in perfect synergy with Lena's human intuition. As the battle wore on, the tide began to turn in favor of the humans. The Zorgan ships, for all their might, were no match for the ancient technology wielded by Lena and her fleet. One by one, they fell, reduced to clouds of debris and ionized gas. But the Zorgans were not defeated yet. As the battle reached its crescendo, Emperor Carax's flagship, a monstrous dreadnought bristling with weapons, broke through the human lines and bore down on the Prometheus. Lena gritted her teeth, her hands flying over the console as she prepared to meet the Emperor's challenge. She knew that this was the moment that would decide the fate of the battle, and perhaps the fate of humanity itself. The two ships clashed in a blinding flash of light, their shields straining under the immense forces at play. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Lena was thrown from her feet by the impact, but she quickly regained her balance, her eyes locked on the viewscreen. "Cronus," she shouted over the din of battle. "Can we take them?" The AI's voice was calm and steady. "We can, Lena. But it will require a great sacrifice." Lena nodded, her jaw set with determination. "Whatever it takes. We can't let the Zorgans win." Cronus' holographic form shimmered and distorted, its expression unreadable. Then I will give you the power you need to end this once and for all." Suddenly, Lena felt a surge of energy coursing through her body, a sensation unlike anything she had ever experienced before. She gasped, her eyes widening as she realized what was happening. Cronus was transferring its consciousness into her mind, merging its vast intellect with her human spirit. The AI's memories, its knowledge, its very essence flowed into her, filling her with a power and understanding that defied comprehension. And in that moment, Lena saw the path to victory with crystal clarity. She reached out with her mind, seizing control of the Prometheus systems with a thought. The ship responded instantly, its weapons and shields surging with newfound power. With a cry of defiance, Lena unleashed the full might of the Prometheus upon the Zorgon flagship. A lance of pure energy erupted from the ship's prow, piercing the dreadnought's shields and hull like a spear through paper. The flagship exploded in a blinding flash of light, its reactors overloading in a chain reaction that consumed the ship from within. The shockwave rippled outwards, shattering the remaining Zorgon ships like glass. And then, silence. The battle was over, the Zorgon fleet reduced to a field of debris and shattered dreams. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Lena collapsed to her knees, tears streaming down her face as the realization of their victory washed over her. Around her, the crew of the Prometheus erupted in cheers and shouts of triumph. They had done the impossible, defeating a foe that had seemed invincible and securing a future for humanity among the stars. But for Lena, the victory was bittersweet. Cronus' sacrifice weighed heavily upon her, the AI's presence now a part of her own consciousness. She knew that she would carry the burden of that sacrifice for the rest of her life, but she also knew that she would use the power and knowledge granted to her to build a better future for all. As the Prometheus and its fleet set course for home, Lena looked out at the stars, her eyes filled with a new sense of purpose. The galaxy was vast and filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagining, but with the legacy of the Kintari to guide them, she knew that humanity would face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage, determination, and an unbreakable spirit. And she would be there to lead the way, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who looked to the stars and dreamed of a better tomorrow.